All right, guys, this is episode 3 for TBM. I'm your host, Gunnar Michelli. Today, I got special guest Andrew King, childhood friend that's now in the fitness realm and got clients and everything else like that. So, today's episode is going to be a lot of educational. It's going to be a lot of talking about kind of Andrew's story, what made him get into fitness, and kind of what he's doing and how he's helping a lot of people to reach their fitness goals and whatnot. So, Andrew, kind of tell us your name, introduce yourself, and
Thanks for having me, Gunnar. My name's Andrew King, and yeah, basically, I like to help others reach their fitness and health goals. Usually taking a health-centric approach to things and that kind of stuff. So, um, yeah.
So what like got you into it? Because I know like back when we was childhood friends or whatever, I was working out and your brother's working out, but you used to make fun of us all the time and stuff like that. You would shit on us and everything else.
Well, I think okay. So basically, I started um, working out after I played college basketball for a semester. That's when I got into it. I had to wake up early, go train, and then play basketball, of course. But I think the training part was more important to me. Uh, that made me realize that I had to put some size on, and that like a lot of people were bigger than me. I was only like 150 pounds at the time, so that was kind of concerning to me because I
Yeah.
was like, well, they're basically um, in basketball, they just were stronger than me. Like, they could back me down, things of that nature,
You
I
felt like you
guess.
had a
Yeah,
disadvantage.
it was a disadvantage for me. So, the training part was really fun for me. I would train. It wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I would train for the basketball side of stuff because I guess that was more like agility and strength training.
Yeah.
But then I would go in later on, occasionally during the week, and then do my own kind of lifting with a friend of mine.
Okay, I got you. So you initially wasn't bodybuilding. You was just kind of doing like
Yeah, it was.
functional fitness stuff.
Yeah, it was basically for that. I was studying sports management at the time, also, so it was kind of nice to get into. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do at the end point, but yeah, that was the start, anyways.
Yeah, because I mean, you have nothing better to do. Like you don't drink, you don't party,
Yeah.
really. You don't. I mean, you're pretty consistent. And you've never drank growing up.
Yeah, no, and that's just never been. I just never really had the desire to do any of that. It wasn't anything like. There's no reasons behind it. It's just something I never took on, never
Yeah.
cared to really do. Never had coffee either. I know that's weird to say, but I mean, that's just yeah. I don't know. Just yeah.
So, like I guess your kind of vision now. I mean, it's so I guess different from growing up and whatnot. And what are like some things that you're doing right now in physical fitness and training people? And where do you like want to see yourself go?
Um, let's see. Where do I want to see myself? Well, I do like the competing side of things. I've only done one show, and I enjoy the process of it. The process of feeding up your body, trying to put on muscle mass, and then like cutting down to see what size you've put
Hmm.
on. A lot of people these days, they just want to cut, lose fat, lose fat, but then they realize there's nothing to cut down to. And there's
Hmm.
no fat. I mean, there's no muscle there, and that's because they don't take the time to really like um, for like a growth phase. They don't want to spend time eating a lot of food. They don't want to spend time like recovering. They don't want to spend time actually building muscle, putting their bodies through that kind of stuff to get there to building that muscle. Um,
Because, man, it's not an easy process.
yeah, no.
And especially, kind of on your level. I mean, especially you're so disciplined with it. Um, that's one thing that's hard for me to do is the whole eating portion because I don't eat enough, and a lot of times with my job I don't sleep enough. So like it's kind of I don't know. It works against myself. I'm trying to do the best I can, but I could do better. I know I can.
Yeah.
You know. But as far as like somebody that's kind of overweight and they want to become fit and stuff like that, like should they be getting on diets? Should they be getting on like what would your advice be to that?
So basically, I think a lot of people overlook the basics of things.
Yeah.
And that's just very overlooked. They're always aiming for like, well, what's the fastest way to get there? They're not worried about how they're gonna get there. They're just worried like they just want to jump to there,
Hmm.
and that's not really um, ideal for like sustainability purposes. So for me, I would tell them like, focus on like building a diet that you can maintain that is um more like whole food based, not just full of processed foods. I mean, we could go into a whole nother topic of that alone, but just focus on whole foods and building a diet that you can, sustain for yourself and your schedule. And then as far as training goes, train 4 to 5. I mean, I guess it all depends on the person, but anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week to start out, and then just go from there. Build you a baseline. A lot of people don't build any structure or foundation these days. They
Yeah.
just want to like have the house built without having anything under it.
Yeah,
and then
I
it just
understand.
all
Yeah.
falls down.
And so, like, I know the man. You got the carnivore diet, you got keto diets, you got carb cycling, you got carb cutting. What is your thoughts on those?
Oh, okay. I think they all play well. Okay, so I think they all have their roles and benefits and whatnot as far as like when and where to use them within your journey, I guess. I
Yeah.
think it's very important to have a what's the word I'm looking for? A diverse diet. So if you think back in the days, I don't know where I heard this from, but think back in the days like cavemen, I guess. They went through like they had some, I would say, like really healthy, individuals as far as like gut wise, gut health stuff, because back in the day they would when it got cold and stuff and there were no like plants and stuff, they would have to go and kill like animals, so they get like more of a carnivore style diet. But then when like spring and stuff came through, and then like all their vegetables and stuff would be growing, they would be more plant based. So I mean, I think it just goes it just goes to show like you could work with a lot of stuff, but I would not like stick to just one. I think it's just important to have a diverse diet amongst like yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, a lot of that stuff's just not sustaining. At least for me, like
Yeah.
keto and stuff. I just don't want to do that all the time. I don't.
Like so like keto and fasting, things of that nature. I think it's like a lot of people don't do the feeding up process to be able to even like try things of that nature. They're already on like low calorie diets, and they think like, oh, let me cut all the carbs because like carbs are the enemy, and that's not really the case. It's like you're basically the enemy for yourself, because you're not doing anything beneficial when you just jump to like, let me jump to like all these diets because like what I'm doing isn't working, or like I'm already like um eating like a low caloric diet. So like where can you go from there? Like you have to go up. You can't always be in like restricting yourself from calories all the time. I think
Especially when you're trying to build muscle, and that's people have a kind of a misconception
Yeah.
with that. They don't realize how much food you really do got to eat. You know, and that's not, like I said, that's what I struggle with. And but as far as training and whatnot, like, do you change up your diets as you train? Like, would you go through different training cycles or different training kind of intensities?
so when I'm like in a building phase, of course, I have more carbs. I have more carbs that are like more surrounded like near my training and then after my training, and then I have a lot of carbs during the day too. Now when I'm trying to cut down and lose fat, I still base my carbs around my training and my post workout, but then that kind of tapers off during the day just so I can reach a caloric deficit.
Yeah.
But right now, as like I'm trying to build muscle, I have like a high set amount of carbs, and I'm kind of like moderate fats as well, and
Yeah.
then moderate protein.
So kind of explain that process for the people that don't know. Is where like we're trying to build, staying above a caloric deficit, and what happens when you get below a caloric deficit with your goals.
Like what do you mean as
Like,
far as like getting below
Like, so, I mean, so when you're trying to build muscle, you're absolutely not wanting to be in a caloric deficit. But, whenever you're trying to, lose fat, people, you want to maintain a caloric deficit in a way, if you know what I mean. Like,
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so when you're trying to lose weight and you want to be, well, first of all, like I said, you have to build a baseline. Yeah, you can't just jump into a fat loss phase. That's not something you should do, because you don't know where you're at. You don't have any habits formed. You don't have anything just like ready to go. You have to start off by having that foundation, finding out what your maintenance is, and you could do that over the course of like, 3 or 4 weeks. Eat your calories, eat you a set amount of calories, see if you're losing weight, gaining weight, whatever. And then based off like your activity levels during the day, that's also something you have to factor in. And the more consistent the variables are, the easier it is to kind of gauge where to manage those variables. So if I'm trying to cut down and I'm eating a set amount of calories that are my maintenance, and I'm moving, exercise, and then you got your cardio or your daily movement, whatever that consists of, and that's consistent, well then you can either drop calories there, or you can up your cardio, your activity levels to reach that caloric deficit.
No, that's you hit it on the head.
By the way, guys, I'm new to this is my first podcast, so I'm not used to a bunch of cameras staring at me and whatnot.
No, you're good, dude. But so like on an average day, what is it like for Andrew? Like right now, I guess you're in a growth phase right now.
Yes.
And so what does that day look like as far as dieting, working out, and also keeping that activity thing? And I want you to go through explain that, because I just implemented it in my training as far as the NEAT. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
So
That's so as far as NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's just kind of like what you do, how you burn calories during the day by doing little stuff. It's not like like walking, things that are like low intensity kind of style stuff. Just sitting down or sleeping, whatever that may consist of. What my day looks like. So I wake up and I start my day with a daily walk. I think that's very important to get the brain going, the heart pumping, the blood flowing, things of that nature. Just get your body moving. A lot of people, they sit in bed and sit on their phone first thing in the morning, and and then next thing you know, it's like 2 hours later, and it's like you could have got up and started being productive. I think that's very important. That's something I incorporated over the last like year and a half, 2 years.
bro, I just started it and I feel so good. I probably started it about a week ago, and as soon as I wake up, I go on a walk. It's about probably a 3 mile walk, whatever. But like, man, I just feel so good throughout the day because fitness goes beyond just looking good. I mean, it's how you feel, it's how you
Yes.
function, it's just maintaining discipline for what you do throughout life. I
Yes.
mean, if you can remain disciplined through like a fitness journey or whatever else like that, whenever like you start up a business or your job or anything in that nature, like you just have more drive and you build better discipline.
Yeah.
And that's where I think fitness is important. It's not just about being healthy. It
Yeah.
goes way beyond that.
Yeah. Well, I think it is, and I learned this from Brandon the Cruz. I think he's a guy I look up to in this industry, but he talks about, a healthy body is a responsive body, and I think we've gotten away from, everybody just wants to chase like the physique side of things, and they don't look at it from like other perspectives. It's like, oh, well, this makes me feel good. I feel better doing this. Feel energized. I feel healthy. I am healthier. Instead of just like going to the extremes, reaching, your physique goals and like feeling like crap. For some people do that. I think you can build a balance of both and feel good and look good if you do it right,
Yeah.
But to finish off, I guess, like I would say like a majority of my stuff gets done in the morning time. I like to get a lot of stuff done during the morning times because, I mean, of course, not everybody wants to wake up early in the morning and do everything. Go
Yeah.
to the gym, go for a walk, eat, shower, do all that. And I think if we do the things that sometimes we don't like to do, I mean, we just become better. I mean, we
Oh,
build better
absolutely.
discipline. We become more determined. I don't think it's always about motivation. It's definitely not.
No, it's definitely discipline, I think.
Yeah.
Because just like, man, I don't know. People look at it differently than I do, but it's just hard to articulate the importance of it. But as far as like what made you get into kind of the personal training stuff, like helping people?
Uh, Personal training. I think it's. I've kind of got away from personal training. I do enjoy the process of personal training, teaching people like how to, exercise properly and getting like full range of motion, things of that nature. But um, as far as like you're saying, like why do I like it? I
Yeah, or
guess
like
or
I guess what you do now is health coaching.
so yeah. So I stepped away from the in-person training side of things because I think what you do outside of the gym is much more important than what's done in the gym. Even though training is important, I think a lot of people just think like, "Oh, I can go train and that be it for the day." Well, no, like you still have to eat properly. You still have to consider like your recovery. You still have to sleep, like get your sleep in. Things of that nature that a lot of people skip out on. And a lot of people go to the gym and they're like, well, I'm going to the gym, but I'm not seeing the results. And then like you can really dive into like more of and that's why I do what I do now. You can dive more into their lifestyle, see what it's like, see what their habits are, and then you realize like, well, this is part of the reason why you're not seeing the results that you desire. You have to really, change your lifestyle if you want to change the
Yeah.
way you live, and then like what you look like and what you really want to look like, and things like that. So I just think it's important for me to I think I enjoy the process of seeing where people are and then seeing them overcome like their obstacles of their life, their bottlenecks within their lifestyle that they
Yeah.
have, that they struggle with, that holds them back from reaching their goals.
So what's like a common, factor that or challenge people run into that you see?
Um, the diet.
Really?
That I mean,
I
yeah,
figured.
nutrition. Nutrition is the hardest thing for people. It feels like, and I don't know if it's an adherence thing or like maybe they're just not, developing a diet that they like. That's why I try to build diets for my clients that they
Mhm.
can withstand. That
Yeah.
they like, that they can continue doing. And I just made a post about this, but I was talking about meal plans versus macros. So you can hand yourself you can. I go two ways. If someone is more experienced and they come to me wanting to start their journey and have me help them with it. As far as the nutrition side goes, I can either hand them a meal plan or hand them macros. But for the more experienced people, I hand them macros, which is, the protein, carbs, and fats. And, they have a set amount of numbers for them to do. And they just eat that daily. And then we adjust as we needed to accordingly to their goals.
Yeah.
But as far as the meal plan goes, I think a meal plan is for people that have struggled with their diet. They need more. You could call it strict, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be. But a meal plan is like I write out the meal plan specifically for you. You just have to follow the plan. That's it. You eat what's on there, and it's based off like what you like to eat and what you're like,
Mhm.
kind of like food journal before me was what you have during your day. So they can have it can go either way, and you can follow the plan either way.
You also write their training too?
Yeah, I do the fitness, the training side of things too.
Mhm.
Just and it's all based on individual. And the thing about training is you have to be. I think it's based off like what the individual can do for like their own body.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to put anybody. I don't want to put anybody doing exercises that is uncomfortable for them as far as like joint alignment, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Of course, I make them do things that they're uncomfortable with because they're doing things they probably never had to do before.
Mhm.
But as far as like the training side of things, just have them do stuff that's comfortable for them, that's aligned with their goals, and yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, because I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. Because I know, like, I can't do certain exercises and stuff because I have a bad back and things like that. Then as far as like a day in life, with your clients, like, do you go through and talk to them every single day, or how do you
Yeah,
keep in touch?
I do. I think communication is key with my clients. I do talk to them if on a regular basis, most of them. So yeah, I think that's just very important. because communication is key. I think if you can't connect with somebody, I have to connect with my clients so that I know their life. Yeah, I have to dig deep and get personal with them, even if they're dealing with stuff. That's fine. Like I'm here as a friend, a client, mentor, things of that nature to help them with whatever they might struggle with. Of course, within my practice, but I just think it's important to connect with those people like on that level, because then they're more trusting. They believe maybe like in themselves a little bit more. If I can encourage them to, and just I mean,
What does your demographics look like? Do you have mostly females, mostly males, or is
I
it
do
pretty
not.
diverse?
My demographic is kind of like there's no set demographic. I don't believe in that. I don't want to have a niche. I think that really holds you back if you just have a set group of people. A lot of people aim for like the moms that are like in their, mid 30s and that want to just lose some weight. I think me reaching out to clients that, of all sorts have helped me grow as a coach.
Yeah,
Because I'm seeing
absolutely.
things I've never seen before. I'm hearing things I've never heard before. I'm able to go like do my research on this, or things I'm encountering things I've never encountered before. So if I just constantly, have the same, demographic every time, I just think that would really hold me back from helping, a lot of people. And I want to help as many people as I can.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
All right, so I'm gonna give you like a scenario, and so I know like this is kind of a fireman podcast, but we always don't talk about fireman stuff, whatever. But like, say you have a fireman that's unhealthy and he wants to be functionally fit for his job, you know, when you like, and say if he hired you, what are like some of the first steps that you would take in order to get his life on track?
basically I would start with a diet, start getting them in a regiment to where like, they started getting around more, doing things that they like feel healthy with, that they like to do. And as far as like doing things, activities, do what you like to do. You don't have to, it doesn't have to require walking. If you like to go garden, like go garden. If you like to go golfing, go golfing. If you like to play basketball, do the sport, do the activity that you like to do. Just like do things
Just keep
that make you,
moving.
keep moving, be happy, be healthy, do what you like to do. And so first we talk about things of like that, what makes them happy, what doesn't make them happy. But I definitely would want them to get moving around, get their diet on track, and then start training. And if cardio, I work with somebody that's doing like jujitsu right now, and he has like this is just an example of I don't have a niche. I have no idea about anything as far as that goes. I have no idea. I'm learning with him though, as he teaches me a little bit,
Yeah.
but he has to have these weight limits for his competitions.
I did that for years.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm able to get him into like weight limits that he needs to be in, things of that nature. So if it's like firefighter, or like he has like specific drills he has to get ready for, or he has to be fit for, basically, like we can get there. So it's not like, it just depends on the individual and like where he's at and where he wants to go as far
Yeah.
as his goals are.
Yeah, I understand that. But with us, we don't have. There's when we're working, so we work one day and we're off 2 days. But a lot of times we don't sleep
Yeah.
at all, and that really throws a wrench in my day. That coming on to the next, when I get off and start, I just want to sleep the rest of the, day because I just haven't had any. But it really messes up my training and it pisses me off because I'm not training like I used to and stuff like that. What are some things that I could do to combat that?
Sleep is one of the last things on the list that I get people. Although it's very important, it's one of the last things I tell my like that you can get clients on track with, because like you have people that work these long shifts. You can't tell them like go quit your job. You can't tell them
Yeah.
you can't tell them like take a shorter shift.
Yeah.
So like as far as the sleep goes, I mean, that would be like we could pull back on training somewhere. As far as like recovery goes, we would have to enhance that because sleep is important for recovery. And if you don't have that, then you're kind of missing a lot of progress there.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to say like what would I do with someone's sleep, because it's like what can you do? I don't want to tell people to take time away from their kids. I don't want to tell just I can't do that. So
What about napping?
yeah, napping. If you work long hours and napping is your only form of sleep, by all means, I would tell them to do that when you're available to.
Does it still kind of you get the same recovery, like even though you might not get in a REM cycle or something like that?
Yeah. I would. Yeah, you're not gonna basically get like a full night's rest benefits, but I mean it's better than nothing. You're not gonna feel so lethargic. You're not gonna feel so drowsy, maybe loopy, and things of that nature, and feel like you're dragging. But
yeah, and we was talking about like want to keep this very basic and stuff, and so that the firefighter, you got his diet on track and stuff like that, and you reach his fitness goals. How do you keep these guys accountable?
Checking in with them.
Really?
I think that if they can just finding something that they can adhere to, and follow, that's the most important thing. A lot of people, they're going to the extremes and they can't really do things for longer than 12 weeks. Like, yeah, you can go, lose weight easily in 12 weeks, but you're not going to continue doing what you did to lose that weight.
Yeah.
You're not going to, you can't, because it's just not maintainable. So you have to take time to, build your habits, form your habits, and take it slow versus like trying to just jump into everything and jump to be this person that you desire to be.
Yeah, because I mean, I run into that, especially that's, the benefit of having a coach is you have someone there to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
Like very few people have the self-discipline to be able to hold themselves accountable,
Yeah.
Do you have a coach?
I don't right now. No,
Don't right
I
now?
had one, but no, not anymore. Just kind of just doing my thing. I think I'm learning a lot for myself as I do it for myself. As far as growth goes, I think it is good to have a mentor. I think I've occasionally in the past I've jumped on like calls with Brandon DeCruz, another guy that I mentioned. And he's a guy I look up to, and I've tried to learn some things from him. I listen to, all of his podcasts, anything, of that nature, as far as just trying to like do my own research, learn for myself. Although it's good to like follow in the footsteps of where someone already is, as far as like where you want to be, and just doing like what they do and like trying to learn from them, you'll get there a lot faster. Yes,
Yeah.
but I think it's also good to learn some for yourself, like kind of make the mistakes so that you learn a little bit. I don't want to drag out the process, but at the same time I don't want it to be like, let me just skip all of the like the hard work part. I want to learn for myself. I want to make the mistakes.
Yeah.
The fitness realm, it's easy to go in, like you can literally take pathways to like all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to keep it on a basic level, because there's thousands of just ways just to go down one road of a topic. I mean, and so I don't want to feel or sound like I'm jumping from topic to topic.
No, it's good. Like, because, when we talked about this, we're trying to, talk to people that has kind of no really understanding of this and whatnot. And people think they got to go jump on these crazy diets like keto and carnivore diet and all these different diets. And they think they got to go train. But man, at the gym, like I watch people train and most people do not know what they're doing. Like they go, and I don't think people really work out in the intensity they should be working out, because whenever I go to the gym, bro, it's serious, which I might train too intense, but I superset everything. I'm very high volume, but, and I think that's a flaw. How hard do you actually have to work out to see results?
It's hard to actually overdo it. As far as training, I mean, yes, it's been thought of that you have to like go to complete failure. I think 1 to 2 reps shy of failure, you could still build muscle. I think it's important to go to failure, but not to the point where you injure yourself.
Yeah.
So like intensity wise, yes, keep it intense. I think, if you require more, like during, if you're trying to cut down, your main priority isn't going to be to put on muscle mass. Although it can happen, it's not your main focus. So you're not going to be trying to, go to failure trying to just build muscle. Although you want to keep that muscle, you want to maintain as much muscle as possible when you cut down. I think it's still, you have to push hard and train hard, but like it's not as where you're trying in a building phase trying to push for muscle growth where you're just feeding up, you're tearing down your muscle fibers and rebuilding them back, things of that. So I think it's just good to be intense all around. Just know your goals and know like what your priority is at the time of whatever phase you might be in.
Yeah, and going and talk about cutting, bro. Like, and this is like such an ego thing, but like I hate cutting just because I feel like I'm gonna lose muscle mass, and I do. Yeah, I do lose muscle mass, and that's just a hard because you work so hard to get muscle. I mean,
Yes.
you work so hard and it takes forever. Then when cutting, like I just feel like I lose so much, like I lose so much strength and stuff. And I don't know, like how do you help people with their ego and stuff like that, just to be able to
Well,
get past it?
that comes down to understanding why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't understand what you're doing, like, and that's what I try to help my clients with is like understand the process you're in, understand that like you're not going to lose weight all times during the year. Like you got 3 or 4 months to drop your weight, and if you want to maintain that, we can do that afterwards. But like you need to be in a building growing phase or a maintenance phase more times of the year than you are in a cutting phase. And so like when you're in a cutting phase, whether it be 20 weeks, some people it takes cycles of like, you know, taking calories away and then building them back up, taking calories away and building them back up. Depends on the individual, but as far as that goes, you just have to understand why you're doing what you're doing, and I think that goes for like on anything that you're doing,
Yeah,
because you're more likely to adhere to what you're doing as well if you understand like why you're doing it.
yeah. I don't know, man, and that's why there's so much more to it than just going in there and lifting weights.
Yes.
Because it's technically a science. It really
Yeah.
is. And I've been working out people for they've been working out many years, whatever, but like they just never grow. They stay the same size and stuff like that. But you just, man, I'm not trying to call them out, but it's just like they're just not doing it right, and they're not taking the time to educate themselves.
Yeah, they're not
You know,
taking the time to grow either. A lot of people just want to cut, like I said, and then you just can't do that. You have to take time to build, and then so you can cut down to see the growth that you actually put in. And that might take 2 years, that might take 3 years, and there's nothing wrong with like mini cuts in between to cut down a little bit and get a little body fat off, but you don't have to be cutting down a majority of the year, and that's what a lot of people do. And we're getting in this day and time to where like eating less and doing more is not working out for people. I mean, it's just like it's so much more than just macros and training.
yeah, because I mean, look at all the foods that we eat now. Like everything's processed and stuff, and your body doesn't digest it and stuff like that. And let's go into talk about that, the importance of gut health. Because like, man, whenever I eat bad, bro, I feel it, and I feel like
Yeah.
shit forever. And like, you have problems using the restroom and everything like that. What's the importance into muscle building and diets with gut health, and how do you like kind of
Mitigate
structure?
it.
Yeah,
Just being careful on like what I eat. So like know what triggers you. If you know it triggers you, like if you know like a pizza's gonna make you bloated or like have troubles with like later on the next day, like don't eat it. Like you don't have to eat all these like when trying to put on size. You don't have to eat like crappy foods to feel good. I think as far as like processed foods go and versus whole foods, a lot of people don't understand how foods work when with your body. But yeah, I just think there are a lot of processed foods out there these days, and a lot of people feel like crap because that's all they eat. They're not eating whole foods, raw forms of and uh, back to the gut health part. I do primarily have as many whole foods as possible.
yeah,
It's not, yes, I mean, it is harder to get calories in that way, but it makes me feel better doing it that way because I don't feel like bloated out of my mind and feeling like, oh, I'm sick all the time, this and that, force feeding. Yeah, I mean,
it's the worst feeling.
yeah, to eat in a surplus to put on size, but you don't have to go like to the like 1,000, 1,500 calories over like
Yeah.
people used to do. You don't have to get like really heavy. Like
Mm-mm.
I mean, just eat whatever, eat whatever, eat whatever. That was like the worst. advice ever, and that's something I used to do. And then I realized, when I started touching closer to like a certain weight, that I would start feeling like crap. I'd start gaining an excess amount of fat that I did not want, and I would start, just didn't feel good.
Yeah, and that's where right now I'm the heaviest I've ever been. I'm weighing like 205, and I'm like 5'7", so I'm a short.
Yeah.
So, but it's my diet's always clean. 'Cause like I said, it's a lifestyle. But like I have been splurging a little bit more than I normally do and whatnot. But like, bro, like very lactose intolerant. Any dairy product kills me, and I still choose to eat it sometimes, bro. But it destroys me.
Yeah, and that's what, it just goes back to understanding like what triggers you and stuff. I don't really have anything, thankfully, nothing that really just but I also don't eat a lot of stuff that would do that or find out what would. I kind of keep my diet pretty clean for the most part. I do have more free meals at this time since it's more of a growth phase. So I kind of have 2 free meals a week of like whatever I want, but I still keep that within the range of like not making me feel sick. I don't
Yeah.
eat till my stomach hurts, and just not something I would do.
So what kind of like inspired your education, or where do you get a lot of your education from?
Brandon, I would say I got a lot of my education from him. I think
Who is that?
Brandon DeCruz. He's a coach in the fitness industry. He is a very knowledgeable guy. I can say that. I If you see his post, I do repost a lot of his stuff. If you see his post, you have to kind of have patience and understanding. But that's the way he teaches. I think that if you he has longer topic post versus like these short posts that are really like you kind of get some information on it but not like a whole lot, and his information is just very connective. Like that's something maybe like an individual might deal with, so it's easier for me to touch with him on that base and like just really connect. I just learned a lot from him as far as that goes, because I don't think he has a set demographic either. He works with a lot of people of different sorts, and I see that, and it's like, well, that's what I aspire to do: work with all different kinds of people. But yeah, I learned from him, but a lot of the stuff is also self study.
Does he have a podcast or something, or
Yes, he does have a podcast.
what's his podcast?
It's called Chasing Clarity. It's
Oh yes, yes,
with
yes.
Jeff Black.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Basically, he bridges the gap between a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
the truth and what a lot of people.
Because today, and it's been like this, I'm sure, for a while, at least since Arnold went through, is like everyone runs straight to PEDs.
Yes,
and
yeah, that's a touchy subject
Yeah,
for a lot
it
of
is.
people, but
people like think they have to use them to see results, and it's not the
yeah,
case.
no,
You
that's
know.
not the case at all. But the sad part is you see a lot of people taking them and they still are not reaching their goals, and that's because their diet and their training is still crap like it was before. So, you're not really gonna be doing anything for yourself by
Because I used them
utilizing
in the
those.
past.
Yeah.
I used them when I was 15.
Yeah.
That's probably why I'm so short. But it's just like, I guess I seen results, but I don't know, man. Really, I think it all was really my diet and nutrition, because I wasn't probably taking them like I should have, or with any logic. But it's just, if it's what you want to do, it's what you want to do. I'd say do it right. Do the blood work, do everything else like that, and do it properly, because you can mess yourself up. But I just don't believe that you have to take PEDs to require the goals that you want, unless you want to be a Mr. Olympia bodybuilder or something crazy.
Yeah, but then again, people still don't reach that level. So yes,
Yeah.
it's something you have to accept, whether or not you want to do it or not. I don't really I don't discuss that with too many people.
Yeah.
I just think it's all, if you do it, you do it. Just
Do it
be aware,
responsibly.
do your research, do due diligence. If you don't know much about it, I think that you should learn about it before you even consider it.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, yeah.
Cool. So what is your, like, from now till further on, where do you see yourself kind of like in the fitness industry, kind of, because you have, your own coaching business, whatever, and are you going to try to market and get more clients, or where do you see your training going to?
I would say, as far as marketing goes, I've not been the best marketer. just because lately I've been focused on like putting out more content
Yeah.
and stuff. That's what I've focused on the last like 6 months. So that was my first step, is like producing more content. And having no expectations. I had no expectations of picking up clients. I I mean that's just something I wanted to do for myself to I guess, be more of a coach and showcase, I guess, some stuff,
Yeah.
things of that nature. I would like to. Of course, I want to pick up more clients. Towards the end of this year, I'll set myself a goal for, you know, picking up more clients and having a set amount, because I work very closely with my clients, so I'm not looking to just like take on whoever and
Yeah.
whatever, because like I don't want to work with people that just want to work for a month and be done. Like I want to work with people that like are wanting to go through the process, wanting to actually learn, wanting to take the time to reach those goals, get there, and I want to be a part of that with them.
Yeah.
So my goal, this year, towards the end of the year, will be to pick up more clients, and I mean, it just will come with time. I just don't expect anything.
Yeah. You have to go like, and that's business. You just,
Yeah, taking the time.
yeah. And what you do on Facebook and your social media is like, I see it like you're giving out away all this free information. But, I watch Gary Vee a lot and he's like, give, take a little.
Yep.
But the just giving stuff and like helping people out with expectations of no return, man, it's awesome. And it shows, your true character and whatnot. But as far as training, where do you see yourself going?
Training. I want to do another show in the future. But I think I just need to accumulate some more size still. Focus on like my weaknesses, build my frame to be more proportional, and that's what I've been doing the last year and a half. And I'll continue to do that until I feel like I'm ready to do another show. I think a lot of people just jump into shows year after year after year, and they're not making any real drastic changes. And then it's usually the same results too. So I want to make sure like I'm a lot better than I was the first time that I did one. So
All right. So what if you get somebody like Kanal? Do I have my phone on me? Bro, I don't have my phone. I was going to show picture of Kanal on the camera. So we have a buddy Kanal. We've been close friends for years. We used to have like an underground boxing tournament, and we started it at Andrew's house. Then we did it in the pasture. You and Kanal fought both times. You kicked his ass both times.
yeah, we had some boxing matches back in the day.
But one of them, bro, like we was out there in the pasture and was boxing. We had all like the ATVs and trucks, pointed and made a little ring, whatever. But Andrew was boxing Kanal. Like Andrew would go out in the darkness and run away. And you couldn't see outside of like the little ring area because the light. Then Kanal just would be waiting. Then Andrew like comes sprinting through like the darkness and shit, and then punch Kanal. He did it several times so like Kanal fell on the ground and stuff, and like he had his like facing cow shit. And Andrew was standing on top of him, punching him, and Kanal kept on continuing eating cow shit.
I'm sorry in advance, Kanal, that you have to hear this again.
But you've helped Kanal on his fitness journey as well.
Yeah, I've helped him a little bit.
Is he still working out?
Yeah, he's training again. Hopefully he continues to. Got to get in. He's got a trip coming up, so
Where's he going?
I'm not sure where he's going, but he mentioned that he has to go on a cruise or something related to that. So
I got you.
He's got like a year to prepare for it. So. But yeah, we'll get him right.
So with Kanal, like with his ethnicity and his kind of just his body frame, like he's a hard builder. And so what kind of advice can you give to the people that are hard muscle builders?
Yeah, I would say Kanal was like me back in the day. So 150 pounds. Of course, it just takes time, effort, and patience into your diet and training. I mean, eating a lot, training as smart as you can, and preventing any type of injuries, setbacks, things of that nature. Just the basic stuff. I mean, nothing crazy. Because once you're basically gonna get a bunch of newbie gains off the bat, and then when you get past that, you'll start to slow down, and then that's when you have to really enhance your training and really dial in on all the diet too. So I would just say for any individual that just is starting out, just stick to the basics.
I mean that's with everything, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why like all the basics were created,
Yeah.
because it's not. It can get complicated if you make it complicated, but it can be simple if you keep it simple.
Well, a lot of people make it complicated, They think, oh, I got to do the next best exercise. I saw this thing on TikTok and Instagram, and I got to do it. And it's some ridiculous exercise, so far from the basics that, I mean, it's just absurd. It's like you're not even doing anything.
Yeah.
And if you would just revert back to the simple things, you would probably engage, make more progress for yourself.
And like, this has always been a huge controversy. Like repetitions, like where you want to keep certain reps to build a certain amount of muscle. What is your kind of belief on that? Because like with me, like I keep my reps from anywhere from 12 to 20.
I guess it's person dependent. A lot of people can lift a weight and put on muscle like nothing. And then you have others that really have to figure out what works for them, what doesn't work for them. For me, I've been utilizing more of like the 8 to 12 range, but I have transitioned my training. I used to train to failure, like 1 rep maxes all the time. And although it was good, I knew it wasn't, for the first 3 years, and I made my newbie gains. I think after that, I realized that I'm gonna have to enhance my training and nutrition and really dial in on them, like I said, and really start like focusing on more than just like going in there aiming to like get my 1 rep max up. Like that was just
Yeah, I never focus on 1 rep maxes no more.
I haven't either in years, 2 years, 2.5 years now. So
I just try to go in there and get it like a complete burnout. Anywhere from, I would say minimum 10 reps, but I go all the way up to 20. And that's what I just felt like I found my body does to respond great to as far as building,
Yeah, and I used to do like, 3 or 4 sets as far as like, 3, 4 sets of, 12 reps. But now I do more like 2 sets where I go all out, and those are my working sets. I have warm-up sets that lead up to that, but then I have my working sets where I'm giving all my effort into those, and those are my actual sets. So I might say I'm doing 2 sets of this, but really I'm like working my way up and doing little warm-up sets maybe beforehand, getting ready for like what I'm about to do if it's like a really like heavy compound movement. And then, that's just how I approach it now.
Yeah, man, that's smart. Because, I mean, it's hard to like say this group of people do this group of people do this, and there'll only be like 3 subgroups, whatever. But everyone's different when it comes to this. Every single one. And it's all about doing the research and doing the due diligence to find what works best for you and to continue that. Because I've tried everything and anything. It's like, growing up when I was 15, when I started working out, it's like I had to go through, look into these fitness magazines, looking on the internet, bodybuilding.com, always trying to find the new best thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I think we've all been there.
yeah.
But that's why, I try to teach a lot of people like they don't have to do all that,
No.
Like, oh, like I used to do this and it worked well, but you came to me because you need help, It didn't obviously work. You're still in the same position that you were. So here I am helping you now. Which is fine. But we're gonna do it the right way, and we're gonna build from like where we are now and try to, build you a good foundation that you can sustain throughout the rest of your life, or at least, to where we'll get you to where you can maintain. A lot of people just want to, if they're overweight or something or underweight, they want to get to just more of a healthy place in their life to where, I've had dads that want to get in shape to where they can play with their kids more. They were so out of shape that they couldn't play with their kids. I've had people that have like, that just were smaller and they wanted to be bigger, just put on some weight. And then I've had people that just need to really focus on like health only. It wasn't more about like the physique side of things. It was like focus on like, well, we need to fix this for your health. We need to get you this under control. We need to fix your get your lifestyle. I don't want to say fixed up because I think it's just like we're helping you with the bottlenecks in your life, not really fixing. I don't want to say fix because I wouldn't say that these people are broken. They just have to,
dial in.
Yeah, dial in, get better, be better.
So it's be kind of our last topic is let's talk about supplements.
Supplements.
What do you need to take? What's bullshit? What's not bullshit?
What's bullshit? That could be a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I stick with the basics. Creatine, protein. If you need pre-workout, then use pre-workout. I don't really use pre-workout right now because I get enough sleep during my days. I don't feel like I need caffeine. I'm not one of those. But yeah, protein, um, creatine, and what else? That's basically it for me.
Really?
Now, as far as like vitamins go, I still take the basics. You could take a multivitamin. Make sure it's a good multivitamin, not just one that just has like minimal ingredients and stuff. But yeah,
What are some of your favorite brands?
brands. Revive. Revive's a
Hmm.
really good brand. Let's see. And I just New Ethics is a really good brand. These are just raw. These are just brands that are really like I would say just focus on like the individuals that are actually taking it. Focus on like health stuff,
Yeah.
not just like let me give you some of this because I don't know. I don't
Well, I
even know
mean,
how to
there's
explain
so
it.
many protein supplements out there that have all these different fillers in them and stuff like that. Like some things I look for is make sure they have the enzymes that I can break it down real good for my
Yeah.
body and that it's clean. Because, bro, like, especially, back in the day when I first started, like all these different supplements were nothing but fillers.
Mm-hmm.
These big name brands, they tasted good, but like, I don't know, man, you're just putting a lot of shit into your body. But now, like, I guess the supplement world, whatever, the supplement gods told them to like clean their shit up. And a lot of companies have been making more cleaner proteins and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. As far as like specific proteins, I mean that just depends on the individual. You got whey, you have mass gainers. I mean, there's so many options for you. Casein. I just utilize whey, ISO whey,
Yeah.
in simplest form. It digests easily, and that's all you need, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do pre-workout. I just love the feeling pre-workout gives me, whatever.
I used to take a lot of supplements back in the day. I thought that, that was the key. Just things that you just
Yeah.
think you learn over time that it's not, I've
Hmm.
learned that food is I get a lot of my vitamins from food. As far as like micronutrients go, things of that nature. I'm trying to supplement as least as possible. But of course you're going to have to fill in some areas that you have gaps in. So yeah, and once again, thanks Gunner for having me. I'm new to the podcast stuff, so
Oh man.
it's been fun, but it's kind of hard for me. It's not easy for me because I like to take time to like critically think about what I'm gonna say, or like just think before I say. I do say things how I feel right off the bat, but it's kind of hard for me to like
Articulate things.
yeah,
Yeah.
articulate things and stay on track because like I'm used to like having a piece of paper and just staying like that.
That's how I am too. I like podcasts has really kind of got me out of my shell as far as being non-structured
Yes.
and being just kind of shooting from the hip.
I've definitely got out of my shell
Yeah,
being
because you're,
being doing this, which is good. I don't I
yeah.
don't I don't see nothing wrong with doing things that make you uncomfortable. I think it's good, to get out of your comfort zone, to do things that you're not used to, and
Yeah,
yeah,
because I mean, you're very educated in this matter. We've had a lot of conversations at the gym and outside the gym of like, where you stand on different physical fitness topics and stuff like that. And, like in firefighting, we are athletes. We got to be, on top of our
yeah,
game and stuff because, bro, like I went to fire the other day, bro. I was gassed.
yeah,
Bro, I went on top of the attic. Well, I went on the attic ladder and I was like spraying water, bro. And I was just up there like going in and out because I was so tired. And I'm like, bro, like I'm probably too fat right now. Like I need to like slim down, at least
yeah,
focus on some more cardio and stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of what made me want to have you on here, so we can help help guys that want to be more physically fit and help with their nutrition and stuff like that because it's important and our job is very important.
yep,
And it's all like people get complacent. They get out of shape and stuff like that, and you know um, complacency, man, it
yeah,
kills an
yeah. It
individual,
does,
bro.
yeah, yeah.
It does. It kills an individual, and like it makes them, and that's why discipline is way far more important than motivation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, motivation is like fleeting, so it's there use it when it's there. I
Yeah,
mean, use it as much as you can when it's there, because when it's not there, I mean, you're gonna have to really hammer down and get to it.
cool. Well, Andrew, we'll wrap this up, but thank you for
Yeah.
coming. Where can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
My Instagram is official Andrew King. You can look me up on Facebook as well. I only use Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, The last thing I want to say, my biggest piece of advice for those who are wanting to start and if you want to work with me, you can just reach out to me, and I'll get you a new client form, and we can go from there. See how you're living. But I would say stick to the basics. Check to see what your lifestyle, how it is, how you're living it. Work on your habits. See where they're at. See what kind of bad habits you have, and see about like going about fixing those. Keep a clean diet. Just because it fits your macros doesn't mean you need it.
Yeah.
Stay within like whole foods, mainly whole foods. Train your butt off, and stick to the basics.
Yeah, and people don't be afraid of investing in yourself. People are so scared to spend money on themselves, bro, like in physical fitness. And I mean, that's probably your best investment. You are your best investment.
And they'll spend money on, cars, clothes, not cars, I guess cars.
Drinking.
Yeah, just
clothing.
nails, hair, just shoes. I mean, they'll spend stuff on that, but then they'll say like, oh, well, having a coach is too expensive. I mean, your health is more, health is your wealth.
It's not just the knowledge, it's the accountability that goes with it. And that's what's important.
So you're getting knowledge, you're getting accountability. I mean, you're getting it all. So, why not? I think having a coach is good. Learning from those that are where you want to be is good. Find a coach that, isn't just like saying, do this, and like looking another way like they don't do it. Find somebody that actually kind of looks the way
lives the lifestyle.
lives the lifestyle. So
but cool. Well, dude, let's wrap this up. Thank you for watching TBM episode 3.
Thanks.
Go like and follow Andrew King and let him help you out with any need that you want as far as physical fitness and nutrition. We'd be glad to help you. All right, dog. Wrap this up.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.